Okay. I don't have my glasses on, so I couldn't tell I was recording. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the Let's Talk About Life podcast. It is Monday, so happy Monday. And we just gonna have us another wake up and smell the coffee version because your girl did not record last night. This is a side note to anybody that goes to church with me. Yes, I do still have on the same shirt from yesterday. Um, I'm moving at a snail's pace today. That's all I can say. I had to take George to work. I will not take him to work, but I had to drop the car off to him. And I did not lay down for that good nap until after 5 o'clock, and I never made it back up. I have been up since about 2:27 in the morning. This is my second cup of coffee, and I honestly thought that I was going to go back to sleep, so I did not want to take a shower real quick because I didn't even want to watch the sleep off. Yeah. So again, don't judge me. If you see me out in the streets, I will not have on the same thing because by then I will have done all of the things. But at this moment, I have not. Anyway, and again, like I said, it's about what time is it? It's about 10 o'clock. I should have just looked at my watch. I know I can't see. But anyway, this is going to be fairly quick. One, because I got some brownies in the oven, and two, because I will be posting my collaborative episode with Vincent of the Holy Forge podcast today. And we ran our miles for about an hour. What was it? An hour, 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes. So I don't want to. I want y'all to watch that one. I want you to listen to it because it is audio only. So I'm gonna try not to be up here all day. Um, Yes, I do still have the bookshelf. Y'all, I don't know what to do with the bookshelf. If you look over here, I started putting my books up here. Now, no, I don't even think I got enough books for the bookshelf and for the little thing. So now I'm just kind of like, what are we doing with that, girl? Maybe we'll put it in my room. And then you can see my grandbaby been here this weekend. You know, her little toys around. But anyway, like I said, this is going to be fairly quick. I just wanted to touch on a couple things real quick. On Saturday, I left. We had to go to church for a meeting for our food pantry. I'll be honest. I left the food pantry almost feeling a kind of way based off of some things that I had said. In love, I felt like somebody had taken offense to it. Um, and I literally, as they were coming out and I was pulling off, I had to make myself stay in the car and not get out and apologize for something that I wasn't sorry for. Right? Because to be honest, if I had apologized, I literally would have apologized because they took offense. But one thing I didn't know as a kid that I know now because Pastor has taught it to us, people choose to take an offense. It's not always that you deliver a message that way or what you were saying you meant to offend somebody, but a person has to actually choose to take offense, right? So I pulled off. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of stayed on me, and I was like, Lord, I'm gonna be honest, it took me back to being a young girl, like being in middle school and stuff like that, even elementary school, to be honest. Um, because the only things that I got in trouble for was having a little bit of a smart mouth and not cleaning my room, right? And as far as the smart mouth is concerned, I remember being in a program at school, like I was a teacher's assistant for like summer school or something. And I don't remember what she said, but I know she said something extremely slick out of her mouth. And I matched her energy as a very small child, and she put me out of there. And she was like, "Don't you bring your butt back." And I didn't go back. And then just over time as a kid and as like I said, a teenager and things, one of the things I remember feeling and hearing is that my mouth was always getting me in trouble, right? And it was always like, Sheena, because you think you can just say anything out your mouth, and it would be like, well, I'm not saying anything out of my mouth. I actually think about everything before I say it. Um, you just decided to be mad, and I'm trying to figure out why you mad, and then why other people deciding to be mad at me because you mad when they know they was thinking about it, and they would even probably said something to me about it, and I said, well, you know what, we're gonna stop gossiping about this, and we're gonna go ahead and and just say what it is that needs to be said, because we cannot get past it or do any better if we don't just go ahead and say what needs to be said. Now, in this particular instance, with my church or whatever, this was not a situation where anybody was gossiping or anything. Um, it's just more like I was talking about last week on the podcast, of just wanting us to execute at excellence. If we are committing to something, if we say we're going to do something, we need to just do it, and we need to do it right, right? We need to stop making excuses and all of the things. We need to stop acting like we're the only people who got a job, who encounter traffic, who whatever, right? Because we all do. And if everybody else is somehow making a way to do the things that they committed to doing, then that's what we all need to do, right? And if we can't, we just need to exclude ourselves from it, right? And allow either somebody else to have the opportunity, or allow everybody else to pivot so that we can still move and function the way that we need to function. That was more what that was. But again, in general, like I said, it took me back. Part of me being on my own now is I have a lot more time to be introspective. I have a lot more time to sit back and think and really pick things apart. So I was kind of just thinking, just like I said, because after we left from the church, I actually went and dropped my grandbaby back off at her dad's house. And I was able to come home, read my book, and just think and ponder and all of the things, take care of some things I needed to. And I was just kind of like, girl, you letting your mouth get you in trouble again? Because you're not out to like hurt nobody, and you don't want nobody to feel no kind of way. I'm very, very sensitive. I get my feelings hurt all the time. Now I am at a point now that I can check myself and say, okay, girl, now you offended because you knew that you weren't doing XYZ right, and you need to just go ahead and now that you know better, you need to do better, or whatever the case might be. But I do know what it's like to um get hurt by what somebody says or whatever, even when it's coming in love. So I was kind of thinking like, as a kid, what I did, as I was told over time, your mouth, you always saying this, you always, what it did is it made me not talk. Um, Anybody that knows me knows that I am fairly quiet. And I'm very nonchalant about a lot of things, or so I seem. But realistically speaking, like, I mean, I am kind of quiet for real, but I'm actually very opinionated. I have an opinion about everything. I care about all of the things, right? And I want to see everybody win, right? I want to see everybody win. So if I feel like that I have something that I can tell you and I can drop a gem to help you get there, then that's what I want to do. But like I said, my past experiences in my life and the things that I went through, um, the way that I dealt with that was just shutting down and holding everything in and just sitting and having nothing to say. And oh, she's super quiet and she'll never be talking. Yeah, because I essentially don't want to get myself in trouble with my mouth. So that had been on my mind. And I have, talked to God about it and left it at that, because again, I know that my intentions were pure, and I figured if anything, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe there was no offense at all, right? Maybe I'm just tripping. But if there is, I will wait until if the person come and say, "Well, look, I felt like you was doing too much." Then I say, "Well, girl, I apologize if that's how you felt, but this is actually where I was coming from, because I love you and I care about you, and I just want us all to be the best that we can be." But anyway, that did not happen. What did happen was the Lord sent two people to me at church yesterday to just tell me, to sum it up, essentially, I like the way you move and I like the way you handle yourself. I like the fact that you hold your brothers and sisters accountable. I love the fact that you are willing to speak your mind if it needs to be said, and to do so with love, because you actually care. And to be told that, and to be told that they are proud of me and proud of my growth, it meant everything to me, because like I said, it was a second guessing. I've spent so much time in my life second guessing myself, or feeling like, there you go again with that BS. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up. Just don't say nothing. Just sit there. Everybody else just sitting there. Just sit there. That nobody want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. So I just thank God for the confirmation um in that, because he knows who to send to you and he knows what to do to make sure that you know that you're on the right path. Exactly. Y'all know I want to cry because I'm such a crybaby, but I ain't about to do all that today. And it's only because, like I said, that's something that I've dealt with my whole entire life. So, like I said, it's just nice to get that confirmation, especially in the season where I'm so open to God's voice, even when He comes through somebody else. The messages, the dreams, the everything. I'm just at a point that I'm just He all over me and I'm all over Him, if that makes sense. The other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick. Let me see how long I've been up here. I don't know what the it's 10:06. 10 minutes. Okay, I'm doing good. Yesterday after church, one of my sisters, as I call her my cousin, shared with me that her watching my journey in church, watching me begin to praise the Lord unashamedly. I don't know if that's the word, but me being more and more free in my praise and worship. And if I'm just saying hallelujah, if I'm just throwing my head back and hollering, that has that has begun to free her. Um, that has begun to free her in her worship, in her praise, and it, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest. I always say, Lord, use me. You know what I'm saying? Let my praise and worship, let me enjoy my praise and worship, right? Let me forget about the people in the aspect of like, oh, I can't do this because somebody watching me. Let me enjoy my praise and worship to the point that somebody else is invited in and wants to praise you, even if it's on my behalf. Let somebody see the change in me and say, I didn't seen this girl change. And Lord, I thank you for her change. And to be honest, I was talking more about the congregation because they the ones that be sitting looking crazy. This is somebody who I admire, who I think has an amazing voice. Whew, hold on, y'all. Because I don't want my nose to get stuffed up. Oh, hold on 1 second. My brownies is done. Okay, y'all. My bad. I guess technically when I say hold on and all of that, I could have just let it keep running. If I'm gonna say hold on, y'all, I'll be right back because technically you don't really see a pause because I paused it and picked right back up recording. You know your girl's still learning. I'm just talking and thinking that out. Um, that was a break I needed anyway, so I can blow my nose and not be a crybaby up here. But no, what I was saying was this is somebody who I I admire their voice. I admire how they show up. I admire when we be at practice, they speak their mind. Um, all of the things. This is someone who, in a lot of situations, hypes me up and reminds me that I have a nice voice. Little things like that, right? And so just to hear her saying, like, girl, you really be freeing me. Just watching you freely praise the Lord is freeing me. It just lets me know that even more than I already knew on how this works and how when you say, Lord, use me, how it actually looks, right? By me being me and showing the Lord that I love him, it makes somebody else feel free enough to do so. My whole purpose of this is to remind anybody that's watching this video, right? First off, be yourself, right? Because we either not even be yourself, but be yourself at your fullest capability. Meaning, if your light shines so bright that the people got to go like this when you come around, child, let them put on the sunglasses. Don't try to mute yourself to be a smaller version, to shrink down to meet people where they are. Challenge them to come to where you at, right? Because essentially that's something that I've been doing the majority of my life. Dimming my light, not speaking up for the things I feel compelled to speak on. It don't be me, it's the Lord. That's what I'm learning. He is giving me things to say. And I have to be obedient to say said things. Um, yeah, let your light shine and be as bright as the Lord intended for your light to be, right? And don't wait until you're 41 like me to have that revelation. And then also remember that it's always somebody watching. It's always somebody that's watching. You are setting an example for someone. You might think that that little bit of stuff you be doing, a lot of times we focus on what we don't do because that's what I do. Yeah, I'm praising the Lord, but I barely read the Bible. But you know what I'm saying? I know I could do all of these things, right? Which I actually got some little Bible reading in this morning since I've been up since 2 o'clock. Um, you would be surprised at who is watching you and who is saying, because I see her doing it, I can do it. Because I see him doing it, I can do it. Because I know his story, and what they've gone through and where they're at now, it makes me believe that I can come through. It makes me believe that I can be greater than. It makes me believe that even though I'm super shy and you know what I'm saying, I get real nervous in front of people, I can get up there and speak. I can join the praise team. I can join this program. I can start this. I can start that. Whatever it is. But remember that even when you feel like you're not at your best and you're not doing all of the things, the Lord is using you and you are still reaching the people that God has assigned to you. That is what I learned on yesterday. That I just got to keep on keeping on and just keep on growing. And like I said, let my light shine and love the Lord out loud. Okay? And by me doing that, I am going to touch the people that I'm supposed to touch the same way that the people around me who are assigned to me, or I'm assigned to have a go. The people around me who have touched me and made me want to be better. So that's it, y'all. I said I won't gonna be before you long. I cannot see how long. Oh, I still was up here for 17 minutes, but that's good for me. That's light work. I love y'all. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. If the Lord sees fit for you to make it to the week, same for me. Again, happy Monday. If you made it through these 18 minutes, I love you. If you said she ain't gonna be before as long as she about to be here for 45 minutes and you dropped after 5 minutes, child, I understand and I still love you and I'm gonna try to hold you next time because I'm trying to be a woman of my word. If I say a few minutes, I'm trying to do a few, and under 20 minutes is a few for me. Okay? All right. So again, I love y'all. Everybody be blessed. Be blessed and have an amazing day. All right. I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.